Yeah, no, absolutely. We got a question from my man Felipe. He says, "Make sure you ask him how it was fighting Usyk." So I guess I'll ask, what was it like? What was it like fighting Alexander Usyk in the amateurs?
I say this all the time publicly that I have a photographic memory, and I'm not just saying that, like it's true. I can see that fight like almost from beginning to end, and that fight I hope that somebody has that fight on film. If we could find that fight and he was okay with it, we could probably sell that and make some money on it. It was 4 rounds. It was
Okay.
2 minutes a round. I think that would have been that's a fight for everybody to see. Honestly, man, it was a pure boxing match, man. It was like both of us were boxing, and it just was fantastic. I remember the scores were very slim. Um, I think he was up the first round by like maybe 1 point or 2 points. And
Okay.
then the second round, it might have been tied. And then the third round, I think I was up by 1 point. I mean, it was a very, just really good boxing match.
Sounds like it was razor close. Like
It
anything
was,
could have shifted
it
that
was,
fight.
it was razor close. I won the match by 2 points, and I'll never forget. I caught him with a straight right hand in the last round that buckled him. And then after it buckled him, I just continued to apply pressure at that point, and I didn't allow him to come back. And I mean, I ended up winning the fight, and I won the fight by like 2 points. It was a great fight, man. I don't know, man. I need to go to work to find that.
Yeah, you do. You gotta
I do,
scour
man,
the world.
because here's the thing. When you talk about Shawn Porter 147 fighting Oleksandr Usyk now a heavyweight,
Yeah, it's
you're
crazy to
like
think.
there's no way. And then when you realize like we both were 165, you start to kind of buy into okay, that fight could have happened and could have been good. It was fantastic. It was no less than great.
Was there anything that Usyk did in the ring that surprised you back then, or anything that
No,
stood out? Anything that
there
stood out
was
about him?
there was nothing that surprised me. He was a southpaw that liked to one step back and try to counterpunch. There was nothing new to me because I had seen that from Demetrius Andrade. I
Mm.
beat him fighting that same type of style, and so it was like it was that along with the fact that get out of here. It was it was that along with the fact that that night it was USA versus Ukraine,
Okay.
uh, 13 divisions. Uh, Keith Thurman was 152. I was 165. Everybody that fought before Keith lost, and Keith and I are in the back room together, seeing loss after loss, and we like looked at each other and was like, we ain't getting out of here losing. Like it ain't happening. Keith
Man,
goes out there and he wins his fight. So he's the first fighter from the US to
to win.
represent. Yeah, and then now I'm like I'm not just fighting against Usyk. I'm also fighting against the fact that like I got to do what Keith just did. I got to do it too. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah,
it's just like the energy and everything around that specific fight for me. It really at the end of the night, I think that everything kind of like was in position for me to win that fight between me having fought that style before and me having gone up against bigger and taller guys before and Keith winning his match and nobody else was able to win and all those different types of energies and stuff like that, man. It was fantastic. There was nothing that surprised me about Usyk. I just remember him being a really good boxer, and we were like really going like tit for tat, like back and forth. It
yeah.
was a really good boxing match. It really was.
We need that tape, man. So someone out
I,
there help Sean find the tape.
and I have very I'm not confident that I can find tape on that, and that's why I always like do the best I can to really paint the picture of that fight because it was a great fight for an amateur match,
Yeah.
and it's like I just said, like I think maybe if you didn't know who we were, you wouldn't buy it, but knowing who both fighters are, knowing that we were at that point in time, I think we both were 20 or 21. Yeah, I think we're both 20 years old. I think that really that we were in the primes of our amateur careers at that point.
Yeah. Hey, well, that was great. That was great stuff, Shawn. I hope one day we can get that tape for the boxing fans to be
I do
something.
too.
Yeah. Um.